Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to refit the output shaft. So I'm going to take all this apart, lay it out, make sure we've got everything in the right order, as I might have put it back together wrong. Opportunity to check. Got to come apart anyway, because you can't just slot that into the lower case as an assembled unit, because these won't go through there. And let's start disassembling. Okay, on the fifth gear you've got a bushing there which can stay on, and a circlip and the gear itself, but the little oiling hole is not lined up correctly, so you need to take that off and reposition it. So the shaft's all good to go back in, it's nice and smooth. Really nice. I might just drop a bit of engine oil into the bearing before I slip it in, just to get some in there, but it's all good to go straight back in. Definitely going to do that with this bearing, because these cases have been thoroughly cleaned and these bearings are bone dry, so you can hear they're a little dry from turning them there. That feels good. Okay, let's wiggle this shaft in. This isn't a bearing surface at all, so it's just a housing, so we don't need to do anything more than make sure that's clean and free from any grit or any kind of foreign bodies. We do of course need to pull this back so that we can slide all the gears, bushings and circlips onto the end of the shaft there. And yeah, on that note we will slide on the third gear bushing here. So we've got some oiling holes we need to line up. Let's just pop that out of the way and move that back. Needs to go that way because the third gear can then slip over that bushing. Okay. Now you slide the third gear on and the flush side goes on last. You can see the difference in sides. So again, just pull that back and that should just slip on. Okay. Next to go on are the spline washer and the spline lock washer. So So this one's flat, this one's got tabs on it, and they just lock together like that. You can't put them on together like that because you've got to slide the little tab that's on the inside down the spline, and then the same with this down the spline, and then once you've located this in the groove, you can turn this so that the gap aligns with the spline, and then you can move this into position to lock them together. So we're going to pop those on. We can't fully fit them because we need to allow the shaft to move so we can get additional gears on. I'll show you what I mean. If you can see the little groove there, ultimately that's where it will locate, but we'll just need to let it sit here until we're ready. Okay, so I shall leave it sat there. And the lock washer with the tabs facing that way towards the 5th gear, and leave that sat next to it. Did I say 5th gear? I think I meant 3rd. Well, I definitely meant 3rd. Okay, 2nd gear next. That should be in the right orientation, so just take note. So if we slip that on, shoulder first. Now you can see why you need to move the shaft back. Okay. I'm just going to rotate it so that I can see the oiling hole. And then we can install the 2nd gear bushing, splined, flanged, with the oiling hole in the right place. Just going to pop a bit of oil on that so we can spin the gear around on it. And then we can sit the gear up on it. Right, got to do the same thing with the next clip in terms of not sitting it in its groove. The way everything's positioned at the moment, you can't get anywhere near the groove, so this doesn't look great, so I'm hoping it goes back in okay. The worst bit is it doesn't have full eyes on the end of the ring, so it's really difficult to hold on to. And it's twisting. You can see it's not a great fit. Just need to persevere. 4th gear next, and this side goes on first. I am cleaning all these parts, by the way, just making sure there's no grit or bits of metal or anything like that sat in any of the teeth or in the splines or in the fork groove. Pulling some bits off, I have to say. So So I've not located it on the spline just yet, because we do need to deal with all of these circlips. So I'm going to push it all back across without dropping off the fourth gear. That won't come out now. And then I need to separate the third and the second gear. I'll probably fall off his bushing, no, that's fine. So I can just rotate this washer so that the tabs sit behind the raised section. This could be a little fiddly. So what we should be able to do now is move across the lock washer. And you can see it sits up against that tab washer perfectly, which means the tab washer tabs have moved out of the grooves and behind the raised section there. So that's all in position. Let's move this second gear back with its bushing. Okay. Right, we need to get this circlip now into this groove, and it looks like we've got plenty of room to do that, so let me see if I can just ease that across. I might need to actually use the circlip pliers, because obviously that is held in by quite a lot of spring force. The problem with these particular types of clip, I'm not sure how well you can see, but they don't have these rings on the end. They're just open-ended, so they're quite difficult to hold on to. But let's give it a go. There you go, once you've heard the click and you know it's in, you're all good. I would say this particular clip could do with replacing. It's in, but it is slightly warped, which means this very end here is kind of sitting up and away, but 90% of this circlip is in, 99% in. It's not going anywhere, that's not going to foul anything. So we're okay. Okay, move the fourth gear across. Need to locate it onto the shaft actually. So let's hold that, turn it. It can be fiddly because obviously there's not really a huge amount of clearance between the splines, which you'd expect, which does mean finding its position a little tricky sometimes. Right, okay, last little bits to go on. Thrust washer. You need to pull the assembly back a little bit, however. It should move. Just slip that over the end. Goes up as far as the splines. If I just rotate that a tiny bit, again you can see the oiling hole there. So the bushing, it's got an oiling hole in it, but it's a plain bushing, not splined. It rotates, it's got an oiling groove in the middle. So you don't need to worry about orientation, you just need to slip it on. first gear now, bevel side last. Again, it might be a bit tricky getting it onto the bushing, but oh, there you go, it's all good. And then there's a much smaller washer that sits on the end. Okay, so I just need to position this and drive the end of that shaft into the bearing. Let's get it positioned. When I say positioned, what I mean, the 3 bolt holes of the housing just need to line up. All nicely together. We just need to bolt this in, and that's that little job done. The threads on these housing bolts are whistly clean, so I'm not going to run them through a dye or anything like that. They're all pretty good. Bolts have still got all of their protective coating on them. Okay. These require, apparently, 25 Newton meters. Okay, that's the output shaft or counter shaft fully installed, and I'm just going to get some oil into that bearing. So okay, that's the output shaft all fitted and looking pretty good, I think. I don't think there's any issues with that. All the dogs are looking good, all the teeth are looking good. Got one little tiny issue with that circlet between second and third gear, I think it was. Or was it between second and fourth? Anyway, I think we'll be okay with that. But we can now move on to the next stages, so we need to start to look at the upper crankcase and get the pistons and cranking. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for liking, subscribing and sharing. I appreciate absolutely every single one of you, and I'll see you next time.